What's up, everybody? I'm Flash. This is One Man's Opinion, the show where we cover just about everything, and today we've got another Disney live-action casting call coming at you. It's the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and we're going to cast it up. I saw online a couple of places where they might have already cast for this movie, but what I saw looked like they weren't real. Like, I think they were fan-made castings that were made to look very real. And the reason I say that is because the ones that I found, a lot of them had actors or actresses who had already passed away casting the roles. Maybe they were real and Disney got the recordings in for these characters before the person passed away, or maybe they weren't and they were just fan-made castings. I don't really know, and so if you guys know, let me know in the comments. Just be like, hey, they already cast this stuff, So, but we can still do this for fun. I still think my list is the definitive list, and I will stand by it. Also, this time, we're going to move much quicker. I'm not going to give so many options for each character. I have one option for every character, like my favorite for the role, and I might give one alternative for a couple. But that's all we're going to do on this one. That way I move a little bit quicker, and hopefully I can get you guys on your way. And if you guys have other ideas for who might could fit into these roles, always just let me know those things in the comments below. But we're going to start out with the first character, really, that gets introduced in the movie, and one of the minor supporting characters, and his name is Clopin. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. A lot of these names are French. But he's the jester, the storyteller, the kind of quirky dude who starts off the movie. And this guy's personality is really all over the place. He's really goofy. He's really funny. He dances around a lot, but he's also like super untrustworthy. There's something like very sketchy about the dude. He's really quick to try to just like kill people, and he turns on Quasimodo very fast in the town square there. There are really sketchy moments with this dude, and so to find someone who could kind of play that charismatic storyteller, but who also could kind of turn on a dime and be an untrustworthy, unsavory kind of character, who could make that flip very quickly. It was kind of difficult to find someone who fell in that range. So I've got two for you on this one. My alternative for the role is Wilmer Valderrama, who most of you know from that 70s show, but he's also grown a lot as an actor. He's doing a lot of things now. I think he's on one of like the CSI shows now, or maybe Criminal Minds. He's definitely charismatic enough to fill the role, but also I feel like can turn and have that seriousness as he does now. He plays a serious character a lot more now, so I feel like he could get the duality of the character pretty well, but I think that there is another actor who could capture it perfectly, and it's kind of his calling card, really. And that actor is Sacha Baron Cohen, who we've seen in a lot of roles. He's in multiple movies where he's required to sing, musicals, that sort of thing. He kind of always plays a character who has charisma, but is also kind of a little shady. And so I think he would fit into this role super, super well, just a hand-in-glove fit. I think he's got everything you need for Clopin in this role as this character.
We find you totally innocent, which is the worst crime of all.
So you're going to bed!
The next character we're going to talk about is the Archdeacon. He is a character that kind of pops in and out. He's always a bit of a mentor. He's always a protector. Someone who kind of stands in between Frollo and Quasimodo, or Frollo and Esmerelda at times. He's always there to make sure that the sanctity of the church is recognized and keeps Frollo at bay for the majority of the movie when he is in the film. And so I tried to think of a guy who really captures that older, wiser mentor feel a lot. And I came up with Michael Caine. Obviously, Michael Caine has a long, storied career that we could spend an hour just talking about the great roles that he has already been in. And so I think it would be great to see him in sort of this mentor role. He wouldn't have to do just a whole lot. He shows up, he plays that role very, very well, and then, he cashes his check and has a good day. And Michael Caine is a guy who always puts butts in seats. Everyone loves Michael Caine. You see him on a movie and you want to go see that movie. And so I think Michael Caine would be perfect for the Archdeacon here. Up next, we've got Hugo, Victor, and Laverne, the Gargoyles in Hunchback of Notre Dame, and they are Quasimodo's best friends. And I think the best way to go with these three is to keep it pretty simple. Number one, Hugo. Put Jason Alexander back in the role. He was great as Hugo the first time. Get him back in there. That's a great way to capture those 90s kids who grew up with these movies and say, hey man, look, we got Jason Alexander back. Remember Seinfeld? You remember the Hunchback? We got this guy back. He's back in it. So come see the movie. And, you know, it's always good to get one or two of the old voice actors in there to wink and nod to your audience and say, hey, we're trying to keep this thing respectful to the original in as many ways as we can. And so get Jason Alexander back in there. And then Victor, I think you go Kelsey Grammer here. Victor is the most well-spoken. He's got the most extensive vocabulary. He really takes his time and delivers his lines with a lot of intelligence. And that to me screams Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey Grammer is a super intelligent dude, and if he's not, he certainly comes off that way. The way he speaks, he's got a great voice for voice acting. And so I think Kelsey Grammer captures Victor really, really well. Keep in mind, most of these characters are going to be heavily CGI, so it's okay that Kelsey's a little older now. It's not going to be a big deal. If they can make Josh Brolin massive and purple and have him still look intimidating, I think they can pass Kelsey Grammer off as a statue. And then finally we have Laverne. And Laverne, I just kind of swung for the fences on this one. I think you get Meryl Streep in there. Meryl Streep already has her voice acting chops, playing the fairy godmother in Shrek. Meryl Streep strikes me as the type of person who likes to have a lot of fun with her films. Obviously, she's a highly accomplished actress and can fit herself into just about any role that she's asked to play. But beyond that, she always just seems happy. Like every interview I see with her, she seems to be enjoying herself. I think she really enjoys acting. And the character Laverne seems like such a happy character. And I don't know, they fit really well for me. I know that Meryl doesn't sound exactly like Laverne did, but unfortunately that actress has passed away to my knowledge. And so I don't think it's super important that you find someone that sounds just like her, but rather captures the energy that Laverne had. And I think Meryl Streep could do that very, very well.
Guy so swell, a guy like you, with all you bring her.
All right, we're getting to the sort of main core characters now. Hunchback doesn't have near as large a supporting cast as Hercules had. And so now we're kind of in our big four for the movie. And we're going to start with Phoebus. Now, I've seen online with this casting before, and I think a lot of you will probably agree. A lot of people are leaning Chris Evans with this, and I know it makes a lot of sense. Chris Evans played Captain America, and so he's already played that honorable soldier kind of role, and so he fits hand in glove. And understand, I'm not saying that Chris Evans doesn't fit the role well. I think he fits it fine. But number one, I don't think his personality is perfect for the role of Phoebus. Phoebus is a very honorable soldier, but he also has a lot of like goofy moments. And I'm well aware that Chris Evans can play goofy characters. I have seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World. But even as that kind of goofy character, he was an over-the-top, serious actor type. And I just don't know that Chris Evans fits the role perfectly. Beyond that, he doesn't want to play Captain America anymore, and I doubt that he wants to slide back into a role that's so close to Captain America as sort of that honorable soldier. I don't see Chris Evans lining up for this job. And so I have two people that I thought fit the role a little better than Chris, and I think both of them would be happy to play the role. And the alternative to the role is Chris Pine, who I think actually looks and captures Phoebus a lot closer than Chris Evans, in my opinion. Chris Pine can be that super serious, honorable character, but also has this like goofiness, this looseness about him that kind of fits Phoebus at times. Phoebus is not above having that kind of face plant moment where he just kind of falls flat on his face. And I think Chris Pine fits that better than Chris Evans. And I think I'm going to get a lot of pushback on my number one, but my number one for this role is Jensen Ackles. Jensen Ackles is amazing as Dean Winchester in Supernatural, but he has that serious, really serious soldier-type character that he can play, and we've seen him play a soldier in The Boys now also. And so he can play that, but you also see that goofy, silly side of Dean all the time. And I actually think, I think he fits it just as well as anybody else. And there's something about the dude's attitude, there's something about the way he is that, to me, screams Phoebus. It fits it perfectly. Now, I could go Chris Pine, and I think that the movie would be perfect with Chris Pine, but I would lean slightly toward Jensen Ackles.
What a woman.
Up next, we've got the villain of the film, Frollo. And look, I sat down and watched Hunchback again before I wrote out this list because I wanted to get a feel for all the characters again. And to me, as I'm watching Frollo, the whole time I'm like, there's an actor. Who is it? Who is it? There's an actor that captures this dude's essence perfectly. Who is it? And I couldn't come up with the name. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. He does this move. Frollo does this move where he slides behind Esmerelda and he kind of whispers into her ear. And he's like the dude is like a snake. He's super regal, super pompous. He's arrogant and full of himself. And he holds himself so much better than you. Like that's his attitude toward everybody and everything. Frollo sees himself as a man beyond reproach. He is correct, and he is right, and he is good, and he is just in his own mind. And yet, he is one of the most evil characters ever. There is no one on this planet that could capture the essence of Frollo better than Jason Isaacs. Jason Isaacs is a super awesome villain. Everything I've ever seen him in as the villain, I've absolutely loved to hate him. You can see his regalness, his arrogance, the way he holds himself, the way he carries himself. It's on display in everything that he does. From the colonel that he plays in The Patriot, I believe he was a colonel, and his name started with a T. I think it was Tavington? Something like that. Something along those lines. From that character to Lucius Malfoy, or wherever you want to find this dude, he plays a villain so well. He plays an arrogant dude so well. He plays a prideful, I'm better than you and I know it type character so well. And I just, to me, from even down to the way that Frollo moves at times, from the wickedness in this dude, I don't see a better actor for the role than Jason Isaacs.
Be mine or you will burn.
All right, now we're at our top two here, our main character and our main heroine. Esmerelda was one that gave me fits, and I found the same issue that I had with Meg. In my opinion, Esmerelda is our most complex character. She can be serious at times, but also funny. She's resourceful and intelligent and kind. To be this dancing, beautiful gypsy, she's also quite reserved and untrusting. She's so complex. And I had a real hard time finding a good fit for her. And after jumping around different names, Zazie Beetz is perfect for Esmerelda. Zazie Beetz is a great actress. She can do the action. She can be kind and sweet. She can be funny. She can be intelligent. She can be all the things that capture Esmeralda the best. We saw her play Domino in Deadpool 2. So whether it's a serious action scene or it's as goofy as Ryan Reynolds can be, she can keep up and keep pace with any actor or any actress. And I think that there's not really an aspect of Esmeralda that she couldn't pull off. And so I'm sticking Zazie Beetz in the role as Esmeralda, and I'm very, very happy with that. I think it landed super well.
By the way, great mask.
Finally, we come to the title character, our hero, or one of our main heroes of the story, the Hunchback himself, Quasimodo. And let me say outright that casting a guy like Quasimodo could easily be taken as an insult because Quasimodo is a super unattractive dude, right? But they're going to be put in prosthetics, they're going to have makeup on, so I don't think anybody should be insulted by being cast as Quasimodo. If nobody else wants to play him, I'll do it gladly. I've never acted in any aspect of my life, so that probably wouldn't go well. But I had to find somebody who fit the role. And look, there's not many ginger roles out there. So I wanted to find a true redhead because Quasimodo's got red hair and we need a good redhead in there. You know, not a whole lot of ginger roles, so let's get a redhead in there. Rupert Grint, who we all know and love as Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter films, is now kind of bursting back onto the scene in an upcoming M. Night Shyamalan movie. And Knock at the Cabin. That's either out already or coming out very soon. I'm not 100% sure which. But Rupert is a great actor. Give him that title character and let him play Quasimodo. He can play that kind of sweet character. But I feel like, even though we never really got to see it very much, I feel like Rupert could really bring a rage to a character. And at times that's Quasimodo. At times he's very, very angry. Especially toward the end of the film when he's trying to break those chains down. And I would love to see Rupert really stretch himself as an actor to pull off Quasimodo and to go from being that sweet, reserved kind of guy that was very similar to Ron in some ways into being this more confident, powerful main character, protagonist that I would love to see him in the role, and I think he's definitely got the chops to pull it off. So let me know what you guys thought about my casting in the comments below. I enjoyed having this conversation with you guys. I appreciate you guys showing support for these videos, and I want to keep them up. Let me know in the comments below who you would have cast differently, and let me know what movie you would want to see me cast next. Thank you all for stopping by and hanging out with me. This has been One Man's Opinion. If you didn't like my casting, if you thought that they were all bad picks, don't get mad. Remember, it's just one man's opinion. Thanks.